Say what? Look. I'm on tour right now.
It's the New OGs. The New OGs is a State Madison Entertainment production and is brought to you by Solar Masters. Look, Illinois is changing how people get their electricity, and Solar Masters is helping homeowners in Illinois take advantage of a program that lets them get solar power at no cost. If you're a single-family homeowner in the state of Illinois, you can lower your electric bill, you can raise the value of your property, and you can do something good for the environment without paying a single dollar out of your pocket to do so. In fact, not only can Solar Masters only work with you if they can save you money, Solar Masters will actually award you a $500 cash card for going solar in 2023. Solar Masters is a Black-owned company working with North American-based panel makers who have over 30 years of solar experience, and they even have a referral program that pays a minimum of $250 per referral. So head over to www.gosolarmasters.com and get in contact for a free consultation or to a person you know. The New OGs is also brought to you by my man right here to my left, Mr. Rob Hines. The My Truth Tour, I think, is what we're at right now.
Oh yeah, we're gonna stay, man.
The comic Rob Hines, My Truth Tour. He is famously known as the name that you see in the background here.
Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage.
There it is. That's a song he wrote. He is on a tour. He is trying to tell his truth all across the country, and specifically against a couple people.
Yep.
What's going on, everybody? We are live. We're back here for another week.
Hey, ho! We got one more. I know it's going to be post-Easter by the time this gets to the world, but it's Easter. It's Good Friday that we're filming this, and I got an Easter weed bouquet. This is all weed.
Those are three words that sound hilarious. Easter weed
bucket. What do you call it?
Jesus came back for like, what my weed at? Hold on, I'll be right back.
Hey, I'll be honest with you, man. My guys over at Tokens Midnight, make sure you tell them the OG sent you. Tokens Midnight. Tell them the OG sent you.
Special package. Not tokens, tokers.
Tokers, like tokers.
Midnight Tokers is what I think.
That's yes, Midnight Tokers is their brand, but I believe the IG page is Tokers Midnight. It's reversed. It's split.
Correct.
They do cool shit like this all the time. I'll be honest with you. He has incredible edibles and shit like that. I was just getting an edible package. I didn't know that it was coming in an Easter package like that. When he handed me that, I'll be honest with you, I was like a little motherfucking kid. I was excited as shit. I was like, who's in here? Like,
hey, did he leave little weed eggs around your yard?
Well, in the basket. But yeah.
Oh, that's so great. You open up an egg, it's got a nug in there. You're like, holy shit, orange kush.
He's got fake grass, and he's like, there's gifts hidden in there. They're like, and I was like, I'm trying to tell you, Tokers Midnight, check them out. They support the New OGs.
Absolutely.
And tell them the OGs sent you to get the special packages.
Absolutely. Besides getting high in the name of Jesus this weekend, what's been going on with you, XL?
Good. Hey man, the dates are starting to fill back up. XL starting to get to the OXL tomorrow. This will be played by time I'll be done by the time this comes out.
Tell us where you've been then by the time they hear this.
I would have been at Lincoln Lodge doing Limelight with a lineup of killers. It's me, Kilgallen, Burke. It's a couple other killers. I'm sorry, I'm leaving some people out. I'm just I can't remember everybody that's on the show, but it's a lineup of killers put together by Kyle Scanlon at Lincoln Lodge. I will be at the Vault Comedy Club. I will be at the Drunken Donut in Joliet. There's a couple more shits I can't remember, but dates are coming up. The Vault Comedy Club is the 16th. The Drunken Donut is the 22nd. I know those dates.
And how often do they do the Vault?
The Vault is I think only 2 days a week. It's a full blown comedy club.
Oh, it's a club.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's a comedy club in Batavia, downtown Batavia. It's an old bank vault. It's really, really dope. The owner, Liz, is a passionate comedy fan.
How many does it seat about, do you think?
It is about the size of Old Town Zanies, for those of you who don't know what the fuck that means. It's I think it seats maybe like 100, 110.
Okay.
Something like that. It's a comedy club. It's not a theater or anything like that. It's a comedy club, but they bring out really dope acts. I saw Rachel Feinstein there just a couple weeks ago.
Caparulo there, I think.
Joe DeRosa was there last Sunday. I'm gonna be there next Sunday. Yeah, they bring out dope talent. Yeah, I wasn't intending on putting myself in line with them, but fuck it, I'm in line.
Yeah, I mean,
they do we good.
I mean, if you don't do it, who will?
We all work the same job, right?
Yeah, we all got the same gig. They all got the same gig.
You're going out to do the same work them guys did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
they got 6 or 7 motherfuckers.
Hey man, come ahead, hook me up when we get off the thing because I need to be in all them spots.
and that's XL Comedy Show on Instagram.
XL Comedy Show on Instagram. You'll see posts for it, and also Xavier XL Lamont on Facebook and shit.
Yeah. Now, normally we are in 3 different locations. We used to all be in the same location. Then we were in 3 different locations. Now we are in 2 locations because we are trying to blow your fucking minds at home.
We're just switching it up.
No, I'm in Los Angeles today, and for a while now here with my good buddy and co-host Rob Hines. We're at the Hines compound right now.
So here's the thing. Bobby energy is different type of energy. And just when this nigga walked through the door, I was like, I got to work out. Because I've been looking, I used to go in the mirror and look at myself and be like, yeah, nigga, yeah, you doing it, right? Then Bobby walk in with this, yeah, I'm doing it energy. And I'm like, man, it ain't that hard. You know what I mean? I'm not I'm a pretty good physical specimen if I took better care of myself. And I'm thinking like, it really wouldn't be that hard. I could be swollen like 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, may not be swole, but I'll be much better than flabby blob you see before you.
Well, I got out here and I had seen a partner of mine for a few months. And during that time, I've been essentially, working, like of all the inconsistent things that have been going on in my world over the last 4 months, what I've done to try and keep myself solid is the one thing I've been like, okay, here's what's going to happen. You are going to fucking get up every day and work out. You're going to stay on your diet because those are things you can absolutely control. That's the only, like, how you feel about things, what the fuck's going on, what you got to do about this, all that shit is kind of up in the air in some cases, right? Like you counting on somebody else to pull through on their end on something. You count on to see what this person's going to do, whether this thing's going to happen. Here's what I can control, right? Like I can control getting up every day and making sure that I don't like fall into that mode of not getting off the couch and not like eating to replace the fact that I'm like if I'm going through something, right? And that's
it's eating feelings. That's what it is.
Now, did I end up instead angry enough that I burst a blood vessel in my forehead because I flexed so hard and yelled one day? Yes, but that is not the point of the story.
that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about how ripped you are.
Listen, dude, I got so angry. I was like, and I was like yelling and I stopped, and then all of a sudden I was like, wow, my forehead itches. And I looked in the mirror, and this little blood vessel on my head was like huge.
Okay.
Well, here's the
thing. I was like, I'm gonna lay down for a minute.
Get you on decaf, homie. Put decaf for a little while.
No, my numbers are still good. They love me. Like, you want to do more shit? I'm like, yeah, give me more, whatever. I am a specimen.
Hey man, I feel like numbers are still good. Our famous last words and shit. Like,
hey, man, I swear to God, look,
Michael Jackson's numbers were still good.
What am I trying to do, really?
I this the thing, man. I honestly didn't think I had much physical, I didn't think I was. And when I started working out, I was like, wait a minute, dog, this is kind of working for you. And I got to a point where I would be walking down the street and I look around me like, man, I'll take everybody out here.
Yeah.
I will knock each one of you motherfuckers out.
Actually, you know how that is when you first recognize that. You're like, oh, I have to be afraid of nothing.
Right.
Guns. You're just like, if it's not guns, I kind of don't care.
And I'm saying, like, let me tell you how I know I was looking good. All of a sudden, Renee started buying me way tighter t-shirts. I'm like, hey, these too small. She was like, shut up, put the shirt on.
That's nice.
And let me tell you, the attention around me changed drastically. Like, yeah, that's what I like. No, I don't need nothing to eat. Go sit down and enjoy yourself.
What else been going on with you, Rob? You got some stuff happening?
Oh my goodness, yes. We got that store back up. That's number one. We got Comic Rob store back up. I'm gonna be on a bunch of podcasts. I don't have them all down yet. I also have a brand sponsorship coming up. The reason I'm telling y'all this now is because this is where I want to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth. because this is our pod. And in this space, I'm going to tell you this. They have made mistakes that they can't fix. So, and by them, I mean the Castro brothers. I mean the guys who copywrote Toby Jones, because I copywrote the song, and they didn't copyright that until after. I thought they did it in 2020. They did not. They didn't. I
So
did.
You had the song first.
I had
before
the
they
song before they.
got the
Yes,
Castro name.
yes. In addition to that, there is something huge that I can't tell on nowhere, but it's pretty obvious that they hadn't fixed. That doesn't take anything from me. As a matter of fact, it gives me everything that I ask for.
Good.
That's
And
what's
so
up.
based on that, everything's going well. It's just that it takes a long time with the law. It takes forever. It's like the first time when I was young and I applied for a gun card, I'm like 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, that's what makes taking justice in your hands so tempting. Why did you doing that? They gotta move this shit up because you be sitting around like this is too long and I get some retribution. Even if it's coming, you gotta also add in all this time I waited or whatever the fuck you're doing.
And they don't listen. I was the police. I sat down, I wrote the shit down, handed it to them. The next week I got back one of them cards.
Wow.
It don't have to take that long.
See, they just trying to see what you're gonna do. Half that shit just be like, listen, can this motherfucker wait, or will he, pop somebody in the next couple weeks? They're sitting around watching the wires. Nah, he good. Send it out. He ain't do nothing. It's been 7 weeks. Fuck it. Go ahead. Somewhere in there, someone's just like, stamp it, approve it. It's fine. I haven't seen his name on anything yet.
So yeah, so that's pretty cool. And the final thing is that we are going to be I'm gonna have a first of the month every Wednesday at the Laugh Factory. It's called the House of Hines, where comedy lives, where comedy is king. Pardon me, the House of Hines, where comedy is king.
Nice.
So we come through there every first.
Sounds a little sexist, but okay. Do you?
Well,
regardless of gender, you will be king.
I mean, I don't think bitches gonna like that. Ladies, I'm kidding. I did it for the joke. Don't come at me. At me at XL Comedy on Twitter. I'm not alone.
So when is that starting?
That starts on May the 3rd.
May the 3rd.
Yep.
In Chicago. Laugh Factory Chicago.
Laugh Factory in Chicago, 3175 North Broadway. Wednesday. First Wednesday.
First Wednesday of the month. Is that what's going on? So the first Wednesday of the month, Laugh Factory Chicago. Get to their website for more information. Of course, get to you at Robert_L_Hines or Robert L. Hines 1. If you can't find him on one, find him on the other. Just
all of it. Robert L. Hines across all social media. And that message will get to me.
Somebody else got a message, and that guy was Paul Vallis, as he led in a major upset, what some people would consider being an upset. Brandon Johnson won the mayoral race in Chicago, beating Paul Vallis. What you said needed to happen happened. He needed a few more percentage points from some black folk.
Man, I felt that way, but then I got a little scared because I seen all them angry white people on the other side. Like I got angry white people friends. They was like, "Oh my goodness, we're gonna have to do something. Crime is gonna be out of hand. I mean, Chicago's already blah, 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 blah. The shit." They know me shit they said. And I was like, ooh, scared white people is not a good combination. But it may not manifest in voting, but it may manifest in the streets. So be careful.
Yeah, I mean, there was a threat of 1,000 cops that were going to quit. One, I have not heard of any resignations coming in big time yet, although I'd welcome that. It would have to be fun if these niggas just go away, right?
Changing of the guard is fine.
The big thing was you'd been, as someone who, you and I have had some debates about how far progressive we want to see things be sometimes. But you called Brandon Johnson early as a potential winner here after that runoff because you had some things that were working the right way, right?
Funny thing about it is I didn't know anything about Brandon Johnson. This is not one of those things like, I hadn't heard about him. I knew nothing about the brother.
Right.
I thought it was a good-looking brother that wore suits well. I was like, whatever. But my great aunt died, and when I went to her funeral, the people, these are black fraternity and sorority type folks. They do voting, they do the organizing, they get people out, that type of stuff. And everywhere around where we were at, it was Brandon Johnson, everything. Just Brandon Johnson. And I've seen people in those neighborhoods. I remember when Obama was running for state senator, for senator, excuse me. And I can't remember the brother's name, but the brother is a Republican brother that he tried to bring in at the last minute to try to compete against
Alan Keyes.
Yes. Alan Keyes tried to put his signs up, and Brothers on the Block was literally, get the fuck out of here. You know, like literally, they're like kicking his shit, threatening his people. Like, you don't just put signs up in certain, I mean, probably most neighborhoods on the South Side. You just ain't gonna put somebody. Black men care about their yards.
Yes.
You know? That's some serious shit. You just ain't gonna put a sign up in my yard unless you support that shit. And when I saw his signs everywhere, and unfortunately I had to go to a second funeral later that day, and I saw his signs everywhere when I was over there. And it was a completely opposite side of town, literally from far south side to far north side. Brandon Johnson was everywhere, and it was the thing that was similar about the two neighborhoods I was in is the area I saw the signs on both sides. They were poor neighborhoods. They were neighborhoods that people typically don't do a whole lot of campaigning in because that area just don't vote. And he was campaigning hard there. And when I saw that, I was like, he's gonna get some love.
When it comes to the type of love that he got, as it turns out, the Vallis showing in the first election was pretty close to what his ceiling was.
Yeah,
it was about his ceiling because he only picked up 100 more precincts in the runoff, and Brandon Johnson picked up 500.
Damn.
He had 500 more than he had in the run. He had 200 in the first election. He had 700 in the run. That's how many he won in the runoff.
See, I don't
All
know.
they needed was just a few more niggas to come out, and it was. Let me tell you something, man. Two things I noticed when I seen the debates. I had my cousin's house, and my cousin is one of those former killer dudes. Like, he's like used to be a super duper thug that got aged out of thuggery. So I'm sitting there watching.
What's his name?
TV. I ain't gonna tell you on there. I don't want, you know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you later.
You say his street name?
Bear.
Let's move forward.
So anyway, I'm watching him watch the dude. I was like, oh shit. He was like, yeah, man. All these motherfuckers is clowns except for the nigga with the fro.
Listen, if them cats is going out voting, you got a shot, right?
Yeah, you got a shot like a motherfucker.
He won 80% of the
TV's
votes.
voting for you?
Right. He won 80% of the votes in majority black precincts, and more people came out to vote for him. Young people came out to vote for him. All the white people on the north side by the lake, all of them people voted for him. He had them locked. Those people were locked up in the first election. So what's crazy about Brandon Johnson is he didn't have to go convince white people between the first election and the runoff. He just had to go get black people out to vote. Yeah, that's all he had to do. He just had to get some black people out to vote, and he did.
I mean, that's Chicago politics. You don't always need the black vote, but if you're a black person and you can get the black vote out, you got a W.
You're gonna get it. Yeah. And one other thing I just want to point out, I know we got to move on, but the thing that I want everybody to pay attention to, and I want you to, like Abbott Elementary addressed this the other day too, is that the point of a charter school has nothing to do with education, because they don't give a fuck about what your kids know. The point of a charter school is to take the power away from the neighborhoods and to break up the unions. It's to stop a consistency of learning in your schools. Yeah. And so when the problem that they ultimately have with teachers unions is that they are educated and connected. Yes. You can't break that easy. So now they got this brother who used to be a teacher. Things are going to change a little bit in that city.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they talk about where the money going to come from already. Our police budget is $1.9 billion. You know what will help us not need a $1.9 billion police budget every year? If our kids had a better educational system. That's the fucking key.
That's true. I'm not taking anything from that. But one other thing is that if the money that you giving to those guys, some of it goes towards lawsuits. So if you just stop beating the fuck out of people, then you wouldn't have to spend as much.
Here's the thing is that when you talk about being tough on crime, the thing that people leave out, like people think of tough on crime as arrest more people, get more cops. Tough on crime is put some more money into parks. Tough on crime is put more money into healthcare. Tough on crime is put more money into clean air, into violence prevention, into school. Like, that's being tough on crime, because when you address those things, then you don't have people that end up going out and committing crimes, right? Like, because the things you commit crimes for are largely those necessities for things that which you do not have. It's not just a bunch of people sitting around being like, let's just be evil niggas. That's not what the fuck is happening. You know what I mean? People are trying to find a way to get ahead or to get by. That is what is happening. And if you give those people a base so that they can get the basics by, there might be something to aspire to greater than that. So,
I'm a Riddler Joker out there and shit like that. It's
no, that's the Coke. That's that Coke nigga, the Coke brother nigga.
Oh, look at that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a Batman piece for my bong. I'm smoking it for the first time.
Nice
celebration.
Another celebration. Let's also celebrate Stacey Abrams, as she was chosen as Howard University's first chair of race and black politics.
Oh, wow.
Every title she gets just makes white people very mad. You know what I mean? Every title they give her is one of those times where I'm just like, well, that will surely piss off some white people. The first ever, and then it's got some shit about race, and it's just like, yep, white people don't like that.
Stacey Abrams is magical, and I love her, and I'm a fan of her, and anything anybody wants to give her that's good, that recognizes her amazingness, I'm down for it.
Yeah, she doesn't have to do shit. She could just go be like that person. She could just kind of, does she have to do anything? I don't even think she does. She could just have the title and just hang out. Just be like, yeah, I'm just kind of. It's a multi-year appointment that she's doing. She'll lead the Ronald Walters Speaker Series. So they'll bring speakers to the Historically Black College on a range of diverse topics, but she's in charge of like bringing speakers in and shit like that. So obviously who she will probably bring in to speak may be a little bit more diverse and more suited for what they're looking for. Right. So
I love everything about Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams reminds me a little bit of my grandmother and a little bit of my favorite history teacher. Because this lady was smart as hell. Like, and you could see it in the way that she lectures. This teacher would talk to you like you was grown when you was 14. Mr. Hines, have a seat. I'm like, me? Okay. You know what I mean, like she got through, and she didn't have to be loud about it. She just hit you with facts. And if you are attracted to facts, when you getting them all the time, it changed your whole behavior. Because other than that, I couldn't pay attention. But she would say things that you'd be like, oh shit, okay, well, tell me more about that.
Yeah.
She reminds me of a woman I grew up with named T. Sanders, who was the best football player in our neighborhood until she got about 10 years old and grew titties, and she couldn't play with us no more. But from 6 years old to 10 years old, she was literally fucking us up every day. And she very much has the same style and energy as Stacey Abrams. Fucking everybody up in her way.
Mm-hmm.
And some other insane news going on. Tesla's pay out over some racism that's happened, which is hilarious. This is future company. They had to pay out $3.2 million for failing to do anything about severe racial harassment that was going on at their flagship assembly plant in California. Number of different things like swastikas, racial slurs, epithets on walls and work areas. They awarded this guy $175,000 for damages for emotional stress, $3 million in punitive damages. This is the owner of Twitter.
I got something else to add on to that. Tesla fucking up. Did you hear? There's literally hours and hours of footage, cameras on Teslas recording their owners, like recording people like doing just random shit. The contents of what's in their garage. Sometimes people walk naked around their property or something like that because they're on their property and they don't think anybody can see them, but their car's fucking recording it.
Yep. Yeah. That's the other thing that came out was Tesla. Yeah. Their cars are recording people.
Hey man, I don't think this is. Do you have the thing about Ford? What Ford just announced they could do with their cars in the lineup?
Yes, I do have. I have an issue with that.
What was the thing you had from Ford?
They can start shutting your car down.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. Yeah,
I know, but no, they listed a whole bunch of shit. Like it, I think we said like air conditioning and like. First of all, I don't understand why Ford is announcing that shit. I understand that that's something that it's a feature that they're going to put on the car. They're going to tell you, but who the fuck was asking for it? Most of the time, when they announce a feature, it's some shit like, man, I wish they had like a little magic.
Are you saying who is
the dashboard?
Are you saying who is asking for a feature that would shut your car down?
Police.
JP Morgan, nigga. Shit.
So, what I'm saying is
Ford Financial, my dude.
They don't need to put that in any of the fucking magazines and shit that I would read. Why the fuck are they letting me know that shit?
So don't buy our shit if you can't pay for it. We coming for it.
Because if you're an investor and you're looking about who to invest in, you're like, cool, this is a car company ain't gonna let nobody the fuck off. That's what's their ticker symbol? I'm gonna go put some money in that. They got groundbreaking technology. People put money. I mean, gamblers gamble on people getting fucked over.
Yeah, you can't. You're never gonna lose money if you gamble on the way America is set up. You're never gonna lose money if you gamble on motherfuckers fucking up their money.
No.
Like
No.
if you bet on people fucking up their money and making bad money decisions, you're gonna do well in America.
I want to definitely talk about the biggest story going on in this section of Black Excellence. In Tennessee, Tennessee's been a mess lately. They had the shooting that happened there in the school, 3 kids, 3 adults. There's been a lot of protesting going on in Tennessee. 3 members of the state house, 3 representatives there, had stood with people who were protesting. 2 of them young Black men, Justin Jones, Justin Pearson. One was a white woman named Gloria Johnson. She's 60 years old. They're in their 20s.
27. They're both 27.
Both 27 years old. And because they stood with protesters who were protesting the idea, the fact that the Tennessee legislature plans to do nothing about gun control in the state after this has happened at all. The legislature kicked out the 2 Black men and not the white lady.
And even the white lady. Well, first off, I gotta give.
Hey, props to Gloria Johnson. Gloria Johnson deserves a shout out.
Gloria Johnson loves shout out.
Gloria Johnson loves shout outs.
Hey, it's the most amazing thing about this story, if I'm being completely honest, is that the woman's named Gloria Johnson from Tennessee and she ain't Black. That's the Gloria Johnson from Tennessee is the white bitch.
I mean, honestly, that's a part of the country where it's kind of a toss up. You know what I mean?
I know. And if you listen to her talk, she's been to plenty of Black churches, and she probably seasons her food right.
Yeah, she won the vote. Okay.
She could actually probably make some decent fried chicken, I bet. And that's not a woman thing, that's a Southern thing, you know. That's what I'm saying.
Whatever the thing is that.
But this situation where the House GOP voted to expel these 2 reps is just insane.
It's insane because if you look in the history of that body, I think this is the 3rd or 4th time anyone's been expelled. And the other times people were expelled, they had done like heinous shit. Like one dude was like a pedophile. Another person had, I think, urinated on a desk or some shit like that. Like people had gone to jail or done something that they were indicted for, something like that. Not a peaceful protest, not a peaceful chanting thing. It was absurd. They tried to compare it to January 6th. And call it, they literally call it an insurrection. They use the term insurrection. Here's the thing. I'm sorry, I'm gonna toss this back to you guys. I was gonna say this just real quick. People need to understand. This is the biggest evidence that there could be. They want there to be shootings. They want to fuck up schools, just like we were talking about with charters and shit before. They want you to be a little bit terrified. They want you to have, when you know that the option of taking away guns is gone, they want you to think, go get a gun yourself too. Because when you are in fear, their policies make sense.
Right.
When you're terrified, I'm talking to the audience, not to y'all.
I understand.
When they're in fear, when you're in fear, that's the only time their policies make sense. And what's happening right now with the economy constantly doing well over this long period of time, everything that they've been talking about, all the horror that they told you that was going to come from Biden, none of it's happening. None of it's happening, and they're kind of freaking out because they're realizing that if it doesn't happen, they thought they had a strong shot in 2024. Not if the economy is still fucking doing great and everybody still has a job and everything's going great. So they're trying to do shit to cause any kind of unrest that they can. And this is the biggest evidence of it, because only somebody who wants chaos on the same day, within hours of children getting shot, would say, I'm not going to do anything about it. Would look into a camera and say, I'm not going to do anything about it.
Right.
That's beyond politics. That is heartless. That means you want the chaos. Yeah. And if you think to yourself, it's too big for them to be, well, they don't want kids to be killed, XL. Yes, they do. Yeah. They are no different than
it's more so that they're just indifferent towards the fact it's going to happen. They believe that is a necessary path, right?
Exactly. They are no different than the people who believe in doing suicide bombing. They are no different than the people who lead those people. because they think that those horrible, horrible acts are justified if it brings them closer to what they want. They are the exact same side of the coin. And people need to stop treating them like they're anything else.
And I think what's important to recognize here is by saying that doesn't mean that everybody who believes strongly in the Second Amendment and not changing those laws at all, like down to the average everyday citizen, not everyone has done that thought process, right?
Yeah,
there are definitely people.
I'm talking about the leadership.
Yeah. But here's the thing, because what happens with the people as you get further down into the morass of that is you have people that don't even really have a reason as to even why. They just know that the other ones are the blood drinking, baby banging pedophiles, and these guys are the Christians.
Ultimately, man, every time I think about this, and I try to get a root thought to start from and then grow this ugly tree from there.
Yeah.
And is history. Like, it's time for this shit to collapse. They are ready to take the economic rug out from under everyone because everybody is too in tune. Too many people have said, you know what, them niggas is right. You know what, those women are right. You know what, these people are right. Maybe if we all stood together and just let all the bullshit go, and it's happening to their children. You feel me? That's CRT. Why wouldn't you want your children to be woke?
There's an alignment that they are not happy with. It's happening across a number of different places, right? Unionizing has gone up, right? The Starbucks are unionizing. Berlin nightclub in Chicago is fucking unionizing. Who even places you wouldn't even think about being like, oh yeah, I guess they could unionize too. Like, all these places are unionizing.
Stand-up comedians.
A lot of people are being very accepting of different people more so than they used to. There's been a lot more people who are open about that now because of it. There's a lot more visual, there's a lot more seeing that out in the world and being like, yeah, it's fine. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like there's an actual indifference towards it by a lot of people who aren't those things, who don't have those orientations. And that scares the fuck out of those people because that's, like you said, with the fear factor, that's what they use to scare people. And if people aren't scared anymore.
And one other thing is starting to happen, and this is huge. People do not give a fuck about the word socialism anymore. No one gives a good goddamn about you being a socialist or saying it.
People openly yell it now.
Yeah.
And confirm that. Somebody
people
who is
check you if you call them, are you a liberal? No, I'm a socialist.
Yeah, people are like, I mean, I'm someone who's like, I will vote with Democrats, but calling me that is something I don't really feel comfortable
I'm not that either. No.
So
because too many of them are too cool with us getting fucked up.
Yeah. Speaking of politicals, let's get into some of those. Our main man, DT, Donald Trump, finally in the courtroom. Your boy is finally, your boy got arraigned on 34 counts. On 34 counts. It was quick. He was in and out, kind of like how long it probably took him with Stormy Daniels.
Man, hey, anybody watching this that know how to do samples and shit, Donald Trump, yeah, arrested black man. Yeah, arrested by a black man. Sample that shit.
One of the things I think that was really a big deal about this situation with him is that, from what I hear from people that were covering it, that were actually in the room, is that usually when Donald Trump walks into a room, it's his room, right? Everybody's waiting for him to do his thing. No matter what happens, he can always jump in and take control whenever he wants to. And this is a situation where he had to walk in and sit down, and then he didn't
they let the door hit him.
Wait.
They let the door hit him when they walked.
Hold on. Let me finish. He had to walk in and he had to sit down, and then he didn't get to start pontificating about it. This nigga had to just sit there, and then the bailiff had to say some shit, and the attorneys got to say some shit, and then the judge asked him a question. He gets to say 2 words. You don't get to say, "Well, no, nigga." He didn't even try to. You know what I mean? Like, this is a guy who has been in control of his environment for a long time. And for the first time in a long time, he was in a position in which all he could do was be restricted to those words.
Man, it's probably the first time since he was maybe a teenager or some shit. For real. I mean, because when he was in his 30s, I think that's when his pops died not pops died, excuse me. His pops was...
The redlining case was 50 years ago.
50 years ago, and his pops was kind of losing his shit already.
He's like 78 or 79 right now.
I don't mean to be. I'm saying that loosely. His father suffered from dementia. I mean, I'm not meaning disrespect. Dementia is a very difficult thing to deal with, but his father didn't have his faculties, and Trump was doing the shit.
Fuck his father. What are we talking about?
I mean, like, yeah, fuck them, fuck their whole family, fuck all of them. Yeah,
other people
really you sitting here reminiscing about old Papa Trump. Fuck that old nigga. You did.
Yeah. No. Fuck him with a bag of dragon dip. But
yeah, fuck him. Fuck him. And here's furthermore, fuck his son. Fuck all them bitches. You know, I never gave.
Y'all think Ivanka done got ghosts on them niggas? Hey, Ivanka like. Okay. She got a little. She ain't nowhere to be found. She did like a day before the indictment dropped. She did like this puff piece for Vogue or one of the magazines, some shit like that, about how she wasn't involved in that shit anymore. Ooh, she just wanted to be with her family, and ain't nobody seen her from that bitch since.
She got what she needed. She got a billionaire baby.
They put her back in the pod.
Yeah.
They just hooked her back up in the system, like Bucky Barnes. And they need to pull that bitch out for the next mission. They pull out.
Also, I'm starting to feel like, I know this is gonna sound, hey, put a little conspiracy thing over me. I don't feel like Jared Kushner is a real person. Because here's the thing. Hey, objectively, I know she's a monster, but objectively, Ivanka Trump's an attractive woman, right? And she's been around like the top motherfuckers her whole life. And she fucked that nigga? That slender man looking nigga, that's who she fucks? That's who she chooses? That skinny bone.
He's also got connections though. He comes from political connections and
money.
Connections.
Yeah.
I feel like she made his family work more than they ever been.
You feel like what?
I feel like her connection to her dad has made his family more money than they ever had.
I think he's probably opened some doors in some places because he's Jewish that they may not have had access to before.
Possibly.
I mean, they moved the whole fucking embassy, dude. Do you think they moved the whole fucking embassy during that time, and he was a big part of making that happen. So you tell me. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, Jared Kushner's got two daddies who've been arrested now. At
one point or another had the right to remain silent.
Hey,
here's the actual reality about Trump is this is not the biggest case of all of them. There's a lot of shade being thrown at this one. They're all, it's valid. It's a valid case. It's just this is over paying an adult film star. We know how much respect women who do sex work get. So obviously not a lot. By the way, we'll skip this other part of the story. We'll leave that out of there. We were going to talk about Karen McDougal, but we're not going to do that. So I don't want to get called anywhere. I'm going to stay out of that mess. Anyway, the crazy thing is after this, he's got the E. Jean Carroll case coming up that he's got to testify for in a few weeks. And then he's got the issue in Georgia that he's got to deal with, which was very blatant because you legally cannot do that. And then he's got the document case and the J6 case.
Hey, this nigga gonna have to be in court before every major holiday this summer, because that Georgia shit's gonna happen probably a little bit before Mother's Day, but somewhere between Mother's Day and Memorial Day. he
all this man's free time doing that. That's what I'm saying though. Is this man he ain't got no time to campaign, my nigga? When? You gotta be in.
Hey, what if Jackson
just gonna send up pictures from the jail?
Jackson was done on 4th of July. He gonna do that shit. He gonna do that shit right before the 4th of July. Like, hey, you know what? I got you, America.
When they lock his ass up, he gonna be with the J6 choir, and they gonna be taking pictures like squat down and shit. Stacking the bricks.
Him doing pull-ups in the fucking jail. Pose him on the
Hey, look, he's gonna be having those inmate trays with the chicken in it. He gonna point at it. Jail life, bitch.
You watching this? Somebody an AI version of Trump yoked. Trump yokes, couple of tattoos, 45 tattooed over here
with an ankh on his chest. I'm peaceful, nigga.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
My piece is gonna be huge.
Oh my god! He got an Ankh and a Kufi.
He's gonna be.
Yeah, I want Trump to that shit get out before it's over.
No, son.
Take
no.
that lie out your head.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. They have plenty of racists in jail. It's going to be exactly the opposite of that. He's going to be as fat as he always is, but this time he's going to have a swastika on his forehead and maybe one on his butt. You can't.
1488 across his chest. That's what we're gonna have. Speaking of 1488, North Carolina lawmaker has switched parties, which is going to ideally create a path to stricter abortion laws. You might say, who is this man who has done this? You might be surprised to know that this is a woman. Tricia Cotham is the one who switched parties. She was a Democrat, flipped over to the Republican Party, apparently very opposed to abortion happening. She's previously opposed new abortion restrictions, been supportive of LGBTQ rights, supported public education in the state, but she's also voted them with the GOP recently on a bill requiring sheriffs to cooperate with ICE officials. So we're not really sure what other reasons she's got, but what it does is it puts North Carolina in a place where if they want to go hard on abortion.
Hey man, look, I don't know nothing about this woman. This is just me doing something the wisest man I know, Robert Hines, said, just go back to it's probably some racist shit. She's a fucking Southern Democrat. Like at the end of the day, all the people she probably fuck with are Trump supporting fucking red, red voting motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's her social circle. That's her church circle and shit, even though she probably personally believes all this other shit. Yeah. But after a while, that shit, I mean, that or money. Those are the only two.
That's the only thing. That's it. That's exactly what it is. I think that's what it is. I think that's the bottom line.
Roy.
Somebody done gave this lady some money, like the chick in the Senate.
From Arizona?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cinema.
Christian Cinema. They paid that chick so much. She was like, you know what? Fuck the climate. I got another 30 years of this bitch. Pay me. Pay me.
Cash flow cinema. Cash flow cinema. Speaking of cash flow, my man Clarence Thomas.
Oh,
holy shit. My man been living high off the hog.
Hey, man. You know this? Oh, wait. Tell the motherfuckers what he did first.
So Clarence Thomas has been secretly accepting luxury trips from a major Republican donor. A gentleman by the name of Harlan Crow? Yeah, Harlan Crow. Allow him to repeatedly experience luxuries well beyond his means. He's vacation on Crow's 162-foot super yacht around the globe, flies on his Bombardier Global 5000 jet. In June of 2019, Thomas boarded his jet to go to Indonesia for 9 days of island hopping on his yacht. Had Thomas chartered the jet and yacht himself, it would have cost him over $500,000 to do so. So this is what he's getting. Wasn't his first time on the yacht. Went on a river day trip in Savannah, Georgia, an extended cruise in New Zealand about a decade ago. Thomas autographed a copy of his memoir for a crew member, so you know he was there. The Justice has gone with the Crow to the Bohemian Grove, famous by Alex Jones. It's an exclusive California all-male retreat, which, hey, that's your thing. Shout out to you for that.
Racist people love shout out.
Racist guys like all male retreats love shout outs. Yeah, so the issue with this is that you're not supposed to do that when you're
well, you can do that shit, but you have to
gotta let people know that's what the fuck you've been
doing. Let me tell you this motherfucker did. You're supposed to disclose all that shit. There's a huge ethical. I don't know if I'm not 100% sure if it's illegal. It may be illegal, but I know it's unethical as fuck. And it's also looks
it's illegal. It's illegal.
This motherfucker gonna say, well, I didn't disclose it because it's a person who I've been friends with for 25 years. Which when you first hear that, sounds like, oh well shit, this is a personal friend, and that does make sense. He's just hanging out with a personal friend. This motherfucker is a Supreme Court justice for over 30.
Right.
So somebody yeah, it took a second.
Math ain't mathing.
Y'all
so for 25 years.
You were a Supreme Court justice as his great personal friend, motherfucker.
I just want to draw a straight line from there, from where we standing right now, back to the other one.
So he said, you didn't know this nigga in Mississippi is what you're saying.
Where they threw the brothers out.
Right.
They don't. Remember, let's revisit this, and I want you to understand exactly what I'm saying because it's going to keep happening. You don't have to have a good reason to do some shit. You just have to have a fucking reason. And the reason that they said they expelled the brother, the Afro Thunder, because that nigga was, let me tell you something. You got to experience two different types of niggerdom that will change lives. This was nigga with Afro Thunder. That dude right there was Jesse Jackson before he realized he could be Jesse Jackson. You dig? Pro type nigga with a rhythm that speaks and keeps attention. You experience that, and then you experience the pimp nigga with the slick ass hair. Oh my God! And then the white woman in the middle. White America went crazy. I don't give a fuck what she looked like. You're on their side. So now you couple that with where we're standing right now, and there is no fucking difference. You don't need a good reason. It just needs to be a reason. This shit is ridiculous.
So
he's going to open himself to impeachment possibilities, because that's, if it is illegal, that's a lot of illegal.
His failure to report the flights appears to violate a federal disclosure law passed after Watergate, according to experts. So by accepting those trips, he has broken a longstanding norm for judges' conduct, ethics experts and 4 current or retired federal judges said. So definitely unethical, possibly illegal. It looks like he's broken some laws by accepting those flights. Obviously, the issue of you're not understanding why this is a problem is because if you have that kind of money to just be handing out your yacht and shit for shit that should be costing people $500,000, I don't care how good of a friend you are, you're gonna want something probably.
Yeah.
And if you got the kind of money where you got a yacht that you can lend out for 500 grand, the something you're gonna want is probably a big deal and is probably important to the American public to know about.
Absolutely.
And that is the situation, is that, and that's why you have to disclose shit like that, so that when you make rulings on things or when cases come up that possibly involve a man who has this kind of money or his interests, the people can figure out whether you should be a part of that or not.
It is totally capitalism. It is exactly what it was designed to be, is that only a few people supposed to win. Only a few people. Right. And the higher up you get to the winning circle, the more influence you got over everybody else's life.
Speaking of influencing on some other people's lives, in America the Beautiful, Bob Lee, the founder of Cash App, was stabbed to death a couple days ago in San Francisco. There's not a lot of details about why that happened. It was at 2:30 in the morning, like 2:35 in the morning, which is, not a great time to be outside in San Francisco from my experience. Like it could be certainly possible that you could be randomly stabbed in a situation in San Francisco at 2:35 in the morning. Is that possible? Absolutely. This is a guy that started Cash App. He was the CTO of Square, which is now Block. This guy deals with high money, high tech stuff. Obviously,
was he a billionaire?
I don't know if he was a billionaire or not. Let's see.
He's got to be somewhere in that ballpark, right?
Let's see if I can find out. 10 million.
He was only worth $10 million.
Yep, that was it.
What did he found?
Cash App.
He founded Cash App, and he's only worth $10 million.
Yeah, people get out at different times. You know what I mean? Like when people get out and what they have going for them is different, right? Like that's why I'm like, I mean, maybe this could be a thing, but like the reality is maybe it's just San Francisco's fucking a little wild, man. You got 2:35 in the morning,
That whole story just sounds weird. It sounds weird to me that he's only worth $10 million and he founded something that everybody in America has on their fucking phone. Or a third of America has on their phone. You gotta
understand though, when you talk about founding, that means like it doesn't mean like you're just it's not like he was Zuckerberg who just invented a thing on his own and then made it. You know what I mean? Like the number of people involved in founding of Cash App, find out.
Well, I'll say this.
He was a CTO of another major thing, man. That like his salary should have been $10 million.
I mean, depending.
Maybe he got married. Maybe he got married.
Yeah, I'm trying to find anything about the background of it. I just don't see a whole lot about how it started.
Like you're the CTO of Block and you don't make $10 million a year.
Yeah, I mean, so Block was founded in 2009 by Dorsey, because when it was Square, Dorsey and Jim McKelvey. I mean, no, you don't. I guess. You know,
Wow.
maybe you don't make $10 million a year.
Maybe that's what made him so
If
stabbable.
you worth $10 million, you can't afford to live in San Francisco.
No, you can live in San Francisco for less than that.
Huh?
You can live. I mean, wherever he lived was dangerous.
If you're worth $10 million, no. If you make $10 million, you can live in San Francisco. If you're worth $10 million,
no,
go to Sacramento, nigga.
That's how this nigga got stabbed, probably because he lives in a neighborhood where
I'm just
the neighborhood he lives in is only like if you only worth 10 million, you're a high risk of getting stabbed, my nigga. That's not enough.
I'm just saying, like you was in a very stabbable area, obviously. Like, because 2:00 in the morning in the good neighborhood, still 2:00 in the morning in the good neighborhood.
Yeah.
Mr. Lee, I don't know anything about you. Please, if spirits are real, I'm not laughing at you. I am laughing at the idea of that you worth $10 million, but a $10 million a man worth $10 million gotta live in a neighborhood that you can get stabbed in San Francisco. It's some wild shit.
Yeah, but I mean, San Francisco is kind of wild right now.
It's expensive as fuck.
Like it sounds insane that's a statement that I made, but it's also not necessarily not true.
That's interesting
Right?
because how would that happen? And because that's supposed to be one of the most expensive places to live in the world. So why you got motherfuckers out with $10 million that can't keep from getting stabbed? You know what I mean?
Guys, $10 million is not enough there, man. That's what I'm trying to say.
But what I'm trying to say is why? Like, why do you have that type of crime if you have that type of money? What's going on?
Because the quality is huge. The wealth inequality. Like there's there's like a lot of niggas that got all that money, but then they ain't got enough to like nobody's giving back enough to the people that ain't got shit, right? Like people falling out.
Okay. So here's the thing. Sacramento is only like 90 minutes away. So even if everybody in San Francisco was cool, niggas ain't cool 90 minutes away.
Also this, if you ain't got no money and there's a bunch of niggas worth billions of dollars over here, and you need to go ask somebody for some money.
Yeah.
Like a great place to panhandle is when a nigga got $10 million. It's like,
I'm saying, what I'm saying to you
in San Francisco on the dock are like world people. It's a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
You go see them motherfuckers because they do shit. They do clever little shit.
Yeah.
It's a performance.
What were you saying, Rob?
What I'm saying to you is, in order for some shit to make money, you got to feel safe going there. This is why there are certain things in the city of Chicago always going to be the same, because the police will beat you to sleep if you start fucking up in the wrong areas, right? So what I'm trying to figure out is, where do we breed these new breed of angry enough niggas to be like, fuck the police, I'm gonna beat your ass, take your money. You see what I'm saying? Like the concept of capitalism seems to give you a cocoon, but every place but San Francisco, I guess it's working.
So there has been, since the pandemic, there's been a series. It might have started before the pandemic, but I know
during the pandemic. What you about to say?
But people associated it with protests, but most of the time it wasn't protest related at all. But there was a bunch of smash and grab shits happening, right? The first one that I remember hearing about, the first ones was in San Francisco.
Yeah, it's just a breaking down of capitalism in a place where people.
Yeah,
if you in a place, there's like, you know, the big crimes, a lot of the big crimes that happened on the north side started happening where Cabrini and the fucking Viagra Triangle met.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because it's an obviously easy place to run into like drunk people who aren't going to be listening right and people who are trying to get their fucking money.
Hey, man, I have heard the hustlers who panhandle in Chicago. I've sat on the back of the bus with these motherfuckers when they was comparing stacks. And these are some of the greatest hustlers. They hustlers. These motherfuckers make thousands every day. And they got locations laced out where they know where the rich Caucasians who are with feel guilty. They drunk leaving the club, think they gave you a 20, gave you a wad of 20s or some shit like that. You know, that's like all part of their hustle.
Oh yeah.
It's all part of their regular shit.
Oh, yeah.
So to see like that could be, I guess he could have got, it could have been a robbery or something, but I just assumed, because when I heard he was so this is on me I don't know if I even posted anything, but when I heard I just assumed he's a billionaire. I was like, billionaires don't get stabbed. That sounds crazy, but him only worth $10 million. Also, I'm gonna look up some older articles later, and I want to see if this nigga always been worth $10 million. Or if he was worth $1 billion, and some fucked up shit happened. Because it's still weird that a motherfucker that's
Bitcoin or something.
chief technical officer of anything that of a name that everybody like. These aren't company names that people watching this are gonna be like. Sure. Everybody's gonna know who the fuck Cash App is. We're talking about. This is a major company. He's the chief technical officer. He should have more money than that. and also, what the fuck was he doing out 2:30 in the morning by himself?
Well, I mean, sure, yeah. I mean, all those are real, But I don't really know. Like, maybe he should be worth more than $10 million if he's a CTO. But like, I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily true, man. Like the amount of money that you get right off the bat may not be like. I don't know. I don't know what the situation.
I'm talking about the job. I'm talking about the job. Seems like it should pay.
No way. That should be no. I don't think so, man. Just
it's a pretty large. It's a massive millions of accounts nationally. You're the chief technical officer. Yeah. Make sure the chief technical officer makes sure that the actual app runs. Right?
Yeah, you're not. The CTO's not doing a lot. They're not fucking sitting on their fucking pounding away all day. That's not what they're doing.
Yeah, they are in charge of like projects of like.
I know CTOs of much smaller places that aren't even that involved in what the fuck is going on in the day to day there. That's not necessarily what their day to day is there as a CTO.
Oh, okay. What I'm saying is, you have a title like CTO at a brand that has that many customers, that many users, and is actually making money. Because they're doing transactions every fucking day all the time. That I don't know. Hey Google.
I mean, we're all just speculating.
In Silicon Valley make a year.
On the website ZipRecruiter.com, they say, as of March 29th, 2023, the average annual pay for a CTO in San Jose is $188,851 a year.
Okay.
Do you want a little more context?
Nah, that's it. I was wrong. That shit's way off of what I thought they would have made. Okay.
But that's average.
High end, 300 grand. Salary.com says high end in Sunnyvale is like 460.
Damn. Man, I'm disappointed.
So
disappointed chief technical officers, man. Y'all got low self-esteem or something.
Another thing you'd be disappointed in? Another thing you'd be disappointed is this tech firm in Virginia, this IT-based tech firm. They had a list. They listed a job opportunity. Note in the job opportunity it says, "Note only born U.S. citizens," and in parentheses it says "white who are local within 60 miles from Dallas, Texas." And then in parentheses it says, "Don't share with candidates." Whoops.
Man,
their website has been shut down. No, that's why. But they listed that on Indeed.com.
Indeed, they did.
It was an IT recruiting firm looking for a client for HTC Global / Berkshire Hathaway. In Dallas, Texas.
Wow.
They don't want no black people by the Hathaway part of that.
So here's the thing.
I wonder by law.
I wonder if they were they going to work for Berkshire Hathaway?
Yeah, that's what it was for. So it's an IT staffing company looking to hire for Berkshire Hathaway. They're looking for a business analyst for Salesforce and insurance claims.
Damn, that's disappointing because what's the Wizard of Omaha who runs Berkshire Hathaway? I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah, Warren Buffett. Now again, this is a situation where Warren isn't like, "Oh, make sure."
I know, but yeah, I just.
I was saying this isn't a situation where Warren Buffett's sitting there being like, "Make sure they just get a white one."
No, obviously not. He's the chairman.
Yeah, Warren ain't fucking around that bullshit all day.
Hello, no niggas, please.
Here's what I am saying: organizations are people. Okay, organizations are people. We all know places and areas, or businesses that no matter who the people are who are there, the organizations is exactly the same. You can fire everybody in Hallis Hall. You can fire every motherfucker they got there, every player, every coach. The Bears are going to be the same fucking team for the next 10 years, no matter who the fuck they put in, because the people who do the shit at the top are the same people. And I just, when I asked that, I wasn't thinking that he was doing that directly, but he's the type of people who I would not expect that would hire the type of people to do that shit, that his organization will reflect him.
Bro, that place is so fucking huge There's a manager somewhere.
I'm saying organizations are people.
But it doesn't work like that. Like everybody, like, you know, again, here's the situation, right? Tesla pays out $3.2 million. Now, Elon has his own shit, but like he's, you know what I mean? Like the connection isn't right. Like
I disagree with you completely.
Like,
the
do you think
connection is
there's
directly tied to Elon.
What's that?
Elon is the type of it's directly tied to Elon because Elon himself has been sued for the exact same shit.
Sure.
Elon, he condones and promotes an environment.
Okay,
I'm saying
I'll give you that. But like, here's the thing though: racist shit happens in all kinds of companies, and that doesn't necessarily mean that the owner is like personally responsible for that situation.
What I'm saying is, I felt that he seems like the type of person that will put the energy into having it being a company-wide thing. Whoever did that was comfortable enough sending that to the fucking recruiter.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that sometimes a place gets big enough where like somebody's gonna slip through.
That doesn't seem like an individual situation. It seems like a cultural situation.
The country, and it may be part of the culture there in some place, but the company's too big for me to just be like, this is the entire company.
I'm not blaming him. I'm
not saying him even. I'm saying the company in general as a whole. It may not even be the entire company. For this location in Dallas, Texas, that might be what's going on. But they got shit in every state, international. They're all over the fucking place. So like, maybe that is a segment of a business line that may have that problem. But I remember working in Cintas, you could have all different types of segments of shit going on in that place.
And nobody knows what the other person is doing. In addition,
let me explain what I mean. Let me explain what I mean. Wells Fargo got caught.
I feel like I don't understand you, man.
No, what I'm saying is culture means something, and the comfort level. I understand you saying individual. I get that. And what I'm saying is, I worked in a corporate environment, and there's a culture thing. That it's weird to me that an office could be that they would have an office that would even have an individual there that was comfortable enough even creating that memo, even if it's just that one office that people slip through, because it would seem that the culture of the company as a whole would weed that out, that they wouldn't have a whole office of racism.
I worked for a company that employs, I think, 60,000 people. Big company, right? Big Fortune 500 company. I'm not going to say the name because it's going to probably be a problem if I bring up the person that they brought in, to be honest with you. So I worked in sales in one of their divisions. They brought in, this is a conservative company. For change to happen, it takes a lot. It's meetings and meetings and meetings and bullshit, months and months, maybe a year, maybe shit don't ever happen. Most ideas ain't happen, right? Old ass company based in the Midwest, been around over 100 plus years, right? They brought in a new cat to be the CEO or the head of some department or some shit. He was a bigwig dude. Came in, bow to this nigga when he walks through type shit, right? We had our big company retreat not too long after that. And this married man got caught fucking 2 or 3 different chicks over the weekend or some shit, and the whole scandal broke out. And he was gone 2 months later. Now, this is what I'm talking about. The culture of this company is conservative, blah, blah, blah. This one guy happening for a moment, this, you know what I mean? Like for a period of a couple months, it went off the rails for a second because they happened to bring in the wrong motherfucking dude.
Okay.
Right. And that's all I'm suggesting is that like, when you have a company that big, it wasn't the fucking there are 8, 9 other divisions or some shit. They didn't have anything to do with any of that bullshit that was going on. It was just this cat over here was on bullshit. You know
I'm going hard on them. Maybe they took a flyer on Doug. They were like, here's
the guy's track record before he got to the company I worked at was like spotless. This motherfucker was like he was coming in to be a bad motherfucker. And he got a little too wild that the company retreat was gone like shortly thereafter.
The difference between the Bears and this is that the Bears is one shitty organization. This shit you talk about would have to be all of the NFL plus all the other sports. Because
I wasn't saying the shitty part. What I was really trying to say was that they do shit. They're going to end up doing shit.
What you're saying is a culture there, and all I'm saying is there can be culture issues. That's true. but the size of that organization makes that culture much easier to influence when you don't have as many people that's far away from you. Like it's a small organization. Hallis Hall is one place. These people got places all over the place, all over the world. In addition to that, I could see where being in the military and being in shit that's big, where it was that big, you have to give people some group of autonomy in what they're doing based on what they've done before.
Last year at Berkshire Hathaway, they had 383,000 employees. Just to give you an idea of the size of that company. Like, hey man, somebody gonna slip through the cracks somewhere in that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Yeah. It seems just more likely to me that somebody could slip through the cracks there, you know?
Okay. All I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All I'm saying is I didn't know that Berkshire Hathaway had bought 2/3 of the motherfucking program. You niggas is caking real hard for Berkshire Hathaway. When do we get bought out by a billionaire? God damn it. I'm trying to take these motherfuckers down. Y'all doing everything y'all can to save these niggas. Man, fuck y'all.
I love your competitiveness, but sometimes you just got to take the L.
Oh, pivot. This man played in the post so long. Everything is a pivot.
Elbow.
Pivot. Speaking of pivoting, instead of actually making a better lock system for their cars, Hyundai and Kia are going to give away free steering wheel locks. Someone proved on TikTok an easy way to steal a couple certain types of Hyundais and Kias, and instead of actually like, you know,
a recall or something.
Yeah, maybe figuring out a different way to solve a problem. Instead, they're just gonna send you out. You get one of these.
Hey Bobby, here's the thing. All right, I know I'd be flip flopping back and forth between like the progressive side of the world and the corporate side of the world. All right, on this one, I'm giving Hyundai and Kia points, and here's why. 2 reasons. Reason 1, they didn't have to do shit. It's up to you, nigga. Hey, you see it? They see the news just like you see the news. You saw that shit, go buy you a motherfucking thing, right? Because to change the thing, they probably got to change the whole assembly line. It's probably a whole thing to change the thing. So the fact that they're willing to give a motherfucker a lock, I see that as hey man, I got free Apple TV for a year and a half,
right?
For some bullshit that Verizon did. And I didn't even know what had happened. So it was a win.
Here's the thing: you're not wrong, right? Like, yes, it would probably cost them a shit ton of money to fucking go and change all that shit. I just think it's hilarious that they had in the year of our Lord 2023, they got goddamn vehicles out. Now, look, man, they got cars you got to press buttons to make the motherfucker start at this point, right? They got cars you can walk up with your phone and make them start. These motherfuckers got a car that you can get in this nigga so easily. And the only way, and they're like, what is the best fix for this? They're like, remember the wheel locks your granddaddy used to put on the old Coupe de Ville in 1982? Get one. We'll just send, if you got a Kia or a Hyundai, we'll send you one. What? That is, I mean, it's the right, I'm not saying it's the wrong answer. It's also the funniest answer, though. You can't deny of all the solutions, they're like, just send them all wheel lock, nigga. Just
man, fuck them people. Fuck them people. Look. Don't they? Each one of these companies have a luxury division.
Yeah.
Now, are you getting into the luxury car that easy?
No,
now, if you are, then okay, cool. But if you're not getting in the luxury car, fuck these people. You build your brand off a bunch of po motherfuckers, then you get a better thing going, and then say fuck the po motherfuckers.
No one's stealing the Genesis.
Man, come on, man.
The Genesis.
The other thing is. That is hilarious because every time I think the club, I think of that white dude.
That's what it is. They're not the club, the motherfuckers. That's
it's stiff as fuck. Now we can focus on real crimes like rape and murder. What? Wait a minute. So because people stealing less cars, you can look for more murderers.
That's what's been holding you down. We would have got these murderers, but we had these motherfucking car thieves we had to deal with.
I was on my way to stop a rape. Then I see somebody.
That is the most honest police shit, actually. You know what I mean? Like, what's simpler for us to fuck with right now?
Oh my god!
Where we might get to shoot somebody.
Oh, and this is the technology that you done gave your hard-earned McDonald's job ass money to these motherfuckers, and they won't fix the shit they gave you.
Well, see, technically, it's not broken for them to fix it. It's just criminals fix out some shit.
You're correct, but you know,
like they didn't do anything wrong. Criminals just did some shit right.
If the criminal did some shit right, then you got to change the shit you
part
did.
of a thing that is definitely very important is when you're selling somebody a car that you're making them make payments on that are now averaging upwards of getting close to $1,000 a month on average.
Oh shit!
The average car payment is creeping higher and higher, right? So in fact, let's just make sure we know what the average car payment is, right? So you want me to take on an average car payment of where the fuck is this thing?
That's crazy. That
for used cars right now, it's $526 a month. New cars is $720 a month right now. So you may take on a $720 a month car payment on a vehicle that you haven't done enough. I mean, you know, obviously you can't figure out everything, but fuck, man.
Hyundai, here's your club.
You know, how come this ain't happening with Chevys? Ain't nobody stealing the Chevys? Do what Chevy does then. Can you fucking team up? Can y'all fucking form of? Nobody breaks into our shit. You know what I mean? What is Nissan doing right now? This shit ain't getting broken into.
When they give you your car keys, they hate this big ass club.
Hey man,
It's hanging from the keys. It's just get like you're going to like you at a public bathroom at a gas station in Wichita or some shit.
Yeah, let me go get my shit.
I don't want to say shit about this because I drive a Honda. And I think the only thing that has saved me from anybody ever fucking with my car is just the number of other Hondas that look like mine all over the fucking like we're winning like a big school of fish. Like you can't eat all of us. The make and model of my car is so fucking everywhere. Like, you know.
Yeah. The in a smaller group of fish, we have named the astronauts who are actually going to fly the moon in 2024. Here's what we really need to do. We can't figure out how to keep Hyundais from getting broken into. We gotta send some niggas to the dark side of the moon. Pump the locks hold on the goddamn shuttle door.
Hey, man. So here's what's funny about this shit.
Guess who's not making the shuttle? Fucking Hyundai.
At least they ain't making the locks.
Our shit gets stolen off the moon. That's how we find out aliens are real.
Of course, they send the nigga up. That's when the shit gonna get stolen, right? Y'all did.
And they gonna blame him. Which one of your cousins you sold the space shuttle?
I need the keys to the spaceship. I got the keys right here. What they still here? Hyundai.
Blamed for it.
Oh my god!
Before they named our.
Here's the thing, Bobby. They are going around the moon. This crew of 4 people isn't even touching down. It's a whole different group of people that's actually touching down. These motherfuckers just going around it.
This is bullshit, man.
Yeah.
They do got a brother going, so they got one brother going. I
just saw them on TV.
Your thinking is wrong in this. You guys are both incorrect. You don't just go to some place you about to take over and just go in there and start taking shit. No, you gotta go in there and look. Let's see what the fuck is over here before we steal all this shit. You don't just go, hey, gimme. No, I need to know how many gimmes I need. So I got to go around this motherfucker to see. Then the next group of motherfuckers, y'all go down there and figure out what we gotta put down and start killing shit. And then invasion.
So here's the thing. Technically, I don't think we've ever been to that side of the moon.
No, we have not.
So here's the deal. I'm afraid we gonna find out some shit that we didn't want to find out on the other side of that motherfucker.
What do you mean, like mold?
Because I feel like it's weird that we,
I said mold.
Yeah.
Fungus, some good ass weed. What's on the dark side of the moon? I'm interested though. I don't know what's there, but I want to see it.
A rock and roll group from the 60s.
What if it's the remains? What if it's the remains of a civilization that existed when that chunk was out of the earth?
Oh, the astronauts ain't coming back then. Them shit's gonna be. They're gonna be like, oh shit, something happened to them. They're gone. You ain't finding out about that shit right away. Here's what's gonna happen. You ain't gonna know about it. That's what's gonna happen.
They probably some shit already going on we don't know about. I would say.
They're gonna come back and they're gonna be like, "What did you guys do over there?" They all gonna have a look on their face like, Well, you know, it's pretty much just like the other side.
Pretty dark, just dark. I saw a lot of dark.
Dark. It's hard to see anything.
Yeah. But I wouldn't advise you to go back. No,
We should definitely see the bright side.
And this is
Bright
why
side.
I honestly don't believe that motherfuckers ever been to the moon. Because
Here we go.
I'm tell you why. Just sit with me for a second.
Okay.
When have they ever went someplace and didn't go back? Them motherfuckers should have been selling moon rocks and shit over here, this bitch. It should have been, niggas should be wearing moon around their neck. None of that is happening. They ain't been able to go back because they ain't fucking been.
I technically think moon rocks are slightly radioactive, but because they don't have, they're just getting straight from.
Yeah, they'll just put it in a case. That'll make you even have more of a spectacle. Nigga, I paid $50,000 for this moon rock, bitch. I got to be this old case, nigga. I can't let it touch my skin, homie.
You know, if they brought back a moon rock you had to wear it in a case, that Jay-Z would have that nigga at the Grammys.
Take a picture of it with Ciroc and shit.
He'd be in fucking some video of Beyonce and shit, leaning over dangling that shit.
Into the moon hole.
The whole situation.
Yep.
So that's what I think. But you know, I'm convincing Brother Jones.
Shit called Moon Rock, and the nigga from Rockefeller
ain't gonna have it. Come on, man. Shit.
I just remember, I got a moon rock in here.
Let's move on to entertainment as we start to wrap this one up. There's been a major merger between sports and pretend sports. This is like Roger Rabbit, right? Like live action and animated and the same thing.
Yeah.
The UFC and WWE have decided to merge to form a new sports entertainment company. Now, real quick, before we jump into this, for those of people who are big wrestling fans who think I'm shitting on your pretend sport, I'm not saying that the athleticism and the injuries are not real. Hell yeah, they get concussions. I just think it's silly that they do it knowing they're still going to lose. Fuck, man. If you told me I had to get my head blowed open and also I had to take an L, I'd be like, how big is this motherfucking check? Oh, I gotta do this 300 days a year. I don't know about all that, dog. And you can't get insurance.
Yeah, somebody got to be the Washington Generals for the show for the second.
You better.
I literally just made the joke that I thought UFC was invented by somebody who saw WWE and got mad that it was fake. It was like, what if it wasn't?
Yeah.
And they created that shit, and they put this shit together. And which now the thing that fucks me up about this is, I'm now immediately questioning UFC.
Right, I don't see how that helps the brand at all. I really don't.
How real it is.
Dude, if Disney Imagination, I can't remember the studio that creates like does all the animation shit for Pixar and all that, did a part like merge with the NBA. I'm questioning what I see on TV. That nigga did not hit a 30-foot jump shot. That was some pixelated shit.
I mean, they are already connected. They got Giannis fucking movies on Disney right now, man. They connected, dog. That
was a bad one. That was a bad one. Oh, but go ahead.
So the company that owns UFC is Endeavor, which if you don't know who Endeavor is, Endeavor was an entertainment agency that was started by Ari Emanuel. And if you don't know who Ari Emanuel, he has a famous brother who used to be the mayor of Chicago. So
Ari's famous. He was in Entourage.
I mean, that was Jeremy Piven playing essentially that type of character, but it wasn't.
He was playing him.
I mean, yeah, well, that wasn't the name that he used. He used Ari, but it wasn't the same last name. It wasn't Ari Emanuel.
Yeah, but he was.
So it was that's who he was based off of. Yes.
Yeah.
That's who he's based off of. But yeah, so but I mean, depending on what you know about celebrity culture and politics, you know one of those two brothers. The third is a famous doctor, also the third brother. So that family, the family. But anyway, Ari Emanuel is going to be the CEO of the new company, as well as staying on as CEO of Endeavor. And of course, Vince McMahon is going to run the WWE on that division, and Dana White's going to stay in charge of the UFC. So essentially, it's basically Ari Emanuel is their boss.
Wow.
They own 50 and 51% is owned by the UFC. So UFC is worth about $12 billion, WWE about $9 billion. Obviously, it creates a situation where you can get a lot of crossover talent, a lot of crossover money. The big question about the two is the difference in how they do their specials, because UFC still uses a pay-per-view model that's like $80 per pay-per-view. And WWE, you subscribe to Peacock and you get their shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there's a big concern that because, WWE does not want to go back, fans of that do not want to go back to paying $80 a month for pay-per-view shit. They don't want to do that shit. That's not what they're looking to do. So that's a big question as to what's going to happen. But apparently it's going to be kept the way it is so far. But also, could you see Joe Rogan maybe doing a WWE WrestleMania someday? Could you see, you know what I mean? Like Ronda Rousey's been across both. Will some of those opportunities open up for some of those people? There's a lot going on.
I mean, yeah, some of the dudes in WWE are actual, Olympic wrestlers, talented fucking dudes that probably could do UFC,
Yeah.
I don't. It still makes that shit seem cartoonish.
Yeah, I just don't see where. I mean, I understand they're two different things, but I just don't see where I would want my thing being affiliated with, the shit my grandmother used to watch.
Yeah,
the better analogy is if the Harlem Globetrotters joined the NBA. Like, hey, their game's been fixed for 60 years, nigga. Like, wait a second. Hold up.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, if somehow, I guess I would feel that way more so if it was WWE with the bigger value buying controlling ownership of UFC. There's something about the fact that UFC is the one who's getting the controlling stock and RA at the top that kind of means something to me. Like if the generals bought the NBA, I'd be a lot more concerned than if the NBA bought the Washington Generals and decided to just keep them afloat, let them do the little fucking fantasy shit. You know what I mean? Like I'd be like, okay, that's cute. They're keeping them alive. That's great. Maybe they expand them a little bit or something, help them grow. But I think this is really a matter of these companies are worth 21 billion, and there's a chance to make them worth like 30 billion. And all these rich motherfuckers would love to have a couple more billion if they can do it. And then sell that entity.
I see a lot of UFC fighters making appearances at WWE events. That makes sense.
For marketing purposes, there's a lot to go on with that. All right, in some movie news, the Blue Beetle trailer is out. It's the start of the new DCU. James Gunn is calling this the start of the new DCU because he's so happy with what it looks like. We've all seen the trailer. My personal take is I think it's the most Marvel looking thing that DC has done.
Yes.
Let me be honest.
Yes.
And like the way that Marvel is with color and like the way that the kind of concept is a little more, it's not so rigid. You know what I mean? Like it's got a little bit more freedom to some of it. Like seeing the way that Daredevil moved in the Wonder Woman series was a lot different than the Daredevil that you saw on Netflix, right? A little more acrobatic, a little bit more playing with physics a little bit. And that's kind of what I think you saw a little bit of that in the story. I think seemed a lot more interesting. Definitely using Latin culture.
I like that little dude. I first of all, I'm in love with the actor. I've seen him in the
homie that plays Blue Beetle.
Yeah, I seen him in the Cobra Kai thing. He was one of the guys in that. He was really good. But I'm saying even in this, looking at him as he's getting older, I thought that was a great choice. I also like because he's an awkward dude. Like he's a good looking little dude, but he's awkward. And the beginning of the thing, it helps to build what he will become by the end of whatever this is, like whether it's a movie or series, whatever it is. And you can see the development even in the trailer. So I'm very excited for the DCU because I'm really not usually interested in much in the DCU. I have to push myself. If you guys keep insisting, I will start watching the stuff on TV because it's so much better. But I just haven't been in. I'm like,
Yeah, no.
One thing, I'm excited. All the same shit. I don't have anything new to add to the trailer other than what you guys said. But just like the DCU, I don't know if you've ever got a chance to watch this, but I literally just watched. It was a Valentine's episode that I didn't know came out. The Harley Quinn animated series on HBO Max. Rob, if you haven't watched any of its 3 seasons of Harley Quinn, watch the very last episode of season 3. It's called A Very Inappropriate or some shit like that, Valentine. It's just
animated series.
It's an animated series. It's hilarious. And their animated is nothing like their live action. Their animated is rated R, sometimes NC-17. Yeah, like motherfuckers get murked. They swear.
Oh yeah.
They swear like there's like motherfuckers getting they shot in the head. Blah. Like it's nothing at all like the DC. It's nothing like the clean Disney ass DC live action.
Yeah, not at all. The way that the Marvel Universe is trying to get back, the Secret Invasion trailer dropped. That's with Samuel L. Jackson. The full trailer kind of came out. That man has guns stashed in graves everywhere. He's always got a gun in a grave somewhere.
Like my third cousin,
yeah.
if you go to his house, everywhere he sits, it's a gun somewhere.
There is a this is going to be about the continuing Skrull invasion. It seems like Skrulls have been around for a while. It seems like there may be some Avengers that will find out who are Skrulls. I'm seeing a lot of Rhodey in that trailer, and it's got me concerned because that nigga used to look like Terrence Howard. And between Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2, this nigga turned from Terrence Howard into
yeah.
So what is because I'm guessing that is that what the green stuff was the
so there was if you saw Captain Marvel, they had Skrulls in there, they're shapeshifters, right? So they make themselves look like humans even though they're not.
Yes.
There's been, this is based off a comic book series where they came in and they invaded. Now in the comic books they were all bad. In the series that I think we're going to see, I think there's going to be a rogue group that breaks off. The other thing that is crazy is that there were super Skrulls, which were Skrulls that were experimented on. Those Skrulls could take on the powers of the people that, like, if you took on the Human Torch's, physical form, you could also have his powers. And so there's that one scene where that character Gravik like throws out his arm and is going out like that arm thing. I think there's another scene where they pull this. It's a specimen Cull Obsidian. I think had that ability. And so that might be like part of that going on. So you're going to see some of that stuff.
I think that character is the first Super Skrull. I think the story is going to talk about them creating the Super Skrulls that have the powers.
I love these storylines, but
that's where the problem begins.
Yeah,
but they also make me think like that's what I loved about the Black Panther in the beginning. Like, I kind of agree with the dude that died in the end. Like, I'm saying, like, go over there and take all this shit. Because I know I'm going to treat you better than you've ever treated me. You know what I mean? So I'm going to take all this shit and then we'll chill out and smoke weed and kick it. But you got to still know I'm on top. So every time you get out of the place, smash it real quick and then get back to kicking.
And another trailer that dropped today, the new Ahsoka trailer came out this morning before we filmed this, starring Rosario Dawson as the former Padawan turned Jedi turned rebel reject Ahsoka, who's been on her own for years now. We got a glimpse of Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka in The Mandalorian, and now she gets a solo story that reunites a lot of characters from the Rebel series, which is cool because if you're a real Star Wars nerd, Zeb Aurelius, who is in Rebels, was in a recent episode of The Mandalorian, which is a nice Easter egg because he was part of that group. This trailer shows Hera and Sabine in it, as well as some Sith Lords that I didn't catch. I don't know who those are, but I'm going to be interested to be looking those up a little bit later on.
I'm excited about multiple Sith Lords.
Yeah. And
how did that work?
Right.
How does that even work?
So here's the thing. There's only like 2, but that don't mean that those are the only 2. It's just they only roll in packs of 2.
Right. So like you could have other ones out there. It's just you only take on one apprentice at a time. And also there are people that are on the dark side and can use the Force that are not necessarily in a Sith Lord situation, like the Inquisitors and shit like that. Like they have some Force abilities.
I wonder if there's any Jedi who, after the fucking clones and shit turned on them, went to the dark side. Because I mean that'd be kind of traumatic.
Sure. The other thing that happened is there's some other big announcements. This is that trailer came out, the Star Wars celebration going on in London. Star Wars made a couple other big announcements. The biggest one is that Daisy Ridley, who played Rey, is coming back. She's coming back in a series that's going to take place after the Rise of the Skywalker movie. So it's going to be her trying to resurrect the Jedi Order. So that movie's going to be coming out.
So I hear.
What about now? Is Rey? Is that who was the chick that was the Inquisitor that was trying to take on? What's her name? That was trying to
Black
take
chick. The sister.
Oh, that's from. I'm talking about the last set of movies that were out with Adam Driver and shit.
Okay.
Yeah. So Daisy Ridley was the young chick who they were like, is she Luke's kid? And then she had me and Luke. She wasn't Luke's kid. They didn't know who her parents was. She had the Force. She was
got dope. That.
So that's what. So they're gonna come out with a movie with that. There's 2 more Star Wars films. One coming from the movie that's coming out that Dave Filoni is doing is going to be one that's supposed to tie in the New Republic and close out all the stories from the Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett, and Ahsoka. So he's going to do a movie that brings in all the shit that you've been watching in all these different series. He's going to do a movie that ties all that shit in. And so, then, yeah,
here's some insight that I have heard from the shit that I watch. This entire series of Star Wars has been strictly about the Sith and the Jedi. The Mandalorian are going to be brought in. Like if you watch The Mandalorian, a lot of the backstory of their culture, their ways, and all that shit, and the way the direction. I don't want to say any spoilers to anybody who hasn't caught up or watched it, but the way the direction is going is the reestablishment of Mandalore, and they were a rival equal to the Jedis at one point. So now you might have this like triangle thing of a three-way fight versus just a one-on-one fight, which is interesting because,
So I love a good threesome.
Yeah, threesomes rock. Shout out to
threesomes, love shout outs.
Sometimes they don't. They like to keep it private, but
And then James Mangold, who did Logan, he's going to be doing one that will be based on the dawn of the Jedi. So that's 25,000 years before the prequels. So it's going way back in time, which is like they wore some old ass shit by the time the Star Wars shit came out 25,000 years ago. They're in loincloths with lightsabers.
Well, maybe then it was before everything had fallen apart.
Well,
so
dude, if they do that, then they can break out like because the original Mandalorian was half Jedi, half Mandalorian,
right?
And so there's like a ton of stories, which there's a ton of space to go there. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah. The last thing I want to talk about is another last piece of Black excellence, but in entertaining us. Eddie Murphy had thrown shade at the fact that there's a Puss in Boots movie made. And so the way that they've responded is that a donkey spinoff from Shrek is going to be in the works now with Eddie Murphy. Oh yeah, he was like kind of shitty that they were doing he actually said, they did Puss in Boots movies. I was like, they should have done a donkey movie. Donkey's funnier than Puss in Boots. I mean, I love Puss in Boots, but he ain't funny as a donkey.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. I'll take him over Antonio Banderas as a comic. I mean, come on.
I'm saying it's just like listening to the king of the thing tell you the truth. I'm in total agreement with it. Because if you hear Eddie Murphy say it, I'm believing him. Because think about the
Shrek movie. Think about the Shrek movie. Some of the best parts is like when Donkey's off doing his own, like trying to fix something or do something or save the day. I'm gonna help Shrek. And
watching a movie where Donkey just pals around and makes friends with different people and runs around with them for a little while, helping them do shit.
Bangs the dragon every now and then. Yeah.
You could literally, I would watch a series of that with the Donkey just kind of like the travels of Donkey and have him just winding up in different weird ass situations where
you could put the donkey in the multiverse.
With his half dragon, half donkey babies.
Yeah, little flying donkey babies.
Little flying donkey babies. He fucks a dragon.
That's hilarious.
That is Shrek lore.
As we're wrapping up here, let's swing it back around to us again. XL, we know you got a bunch of shows going on. I want to make sure people know where to find you. It's not just XL Comedy. What are all the spots where people can find you?
XL Comedy on the Twitter, but I'm never on Twitter. XL Comedy Show on IG, XL Comedy, just this with SHOW at it, or Xavier XL Lamont on Facebook and other services.
Rob?
I'm happy you asked, Bobby. The first Wednesday of every month, I'm at the Laugh Factory, the House of Hines, where comedy is king. So come out, check that out. We got a really hot show going that night. My boy Duran Howard is going to be closing that show that night. And then the comic Rob store is up. Those dirty bastards can't stop me. You can't beat me. Let me just tell you one quick thing about these bitches. These motherfuckers put up a store that is all me. You don't control shit, you horrible people.
The store is literally just pictures of you on shirts.
Yeah. It's literally pictures.
It's just pictures of you on shirts. It's like here's a guy we owe a lot of money to.
Right? It's not crazy. God damn it. Sorry.
Stop kicking your shit around, nigga.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
seen the shit he got going on, man. It's all type of shit hanging off the shit. We gonna get you a set the fuck up. We gonna hook your shit up. Or we can figure out a way to make
one of the reasons why I say that you look like you're about to liberate an army is because I've been in your setup before. Your shit does look like a compound. It looks like you are sending off orders to get bombs constructed.
We'll touch
On
this
the low.
screen for you,
He
motherfuckers.
does
With
it
this region.
with the concert posters behind me and shit.
Everything's precariously.
All I need is some yarn going for
Mr. Hines, where can people find you out?
Yes, I'll be at Robert_L_Hines on all social media.
All right, you can find me at Mocha_Jesus on Twitter and Instagram. I am in California for a while. Who knows when I want to come back? That's the joy of being a free man in America, I guess. You can find the show at New OGs Pod on Twitter and Instagram, the New OGs on YouTube. Like and subscribe to us there. Come follow us. We got all of our shows, and we'll catch you here next week. Thank you for joining us. It's been a great one. That's what's up.
Peace.